write and just go out and do it, and I don't give a fuck. So last night was the result. I went to the Laugh Factory with Joe and Tom Herrera, and Howie Mandel was there. It was pretty neat. But the other day I was going through my stuff, and I was going through some old paperwork, and I got an email from the fucking IRS or some shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Like about a payment I made or a document about an attorney that I had. I had this crazy fucking attorney. When I first got separated, I got this fucking attorney who was basically like a white con man. And he was like corn-fed. Like you never see a corn-fed white con guy. You always see con guys from the East and they're slippery or
Right.
they got sharp hair in Miami. This guy was like a very all-American con guy. He was a horrible attorney. And I paid him some money. Then I had to put the rest of the payment on an American Express card, which I didn't pay, but they paid him. And then I had to keep giving him like $500 a month.
Jesus.
Until I realized that he was a horrible, horrible attorney. And I told him to fuck off, that, you know, he had cost me my whole thing. And at that time, I was still throwing some blame on people. And I paid him. You know, I reluctantly paid him. I put him on a payment program so he couldn't sue me and worsen my credit than it already was. So I paid him like $25 a month for like fucking 6 years.
Jesus.
I milked him until one day he called me himself and he goes, hey, I'm moving to Hawaii. I thought about what you said to me years ago. I didn't really represent you properly. Don't worry about paying me anymore. And that went away. But I was always honorable that way. Like I always believed, like, there's some people who go out of the way for you and to lend you money. And, you know, it was just, and as I was going through that, I thought of his name, Phil Dubois. Phil Dubois was my attorney when I got in trouble.
Okay, in Colorado?
In Colorado.
Okay.
And Phil was the whitest guy I had ever met at that time. Okay, when I got a reference to him, when I got referred to him, and I went to that office, I was going to walk out of there and kill the guy that referred me to him and kill this attorney.
Why?
Because this guy, you know, I grew up and with my mom's attorneys and my stepdad's attorneys, and I grew up and I saw how these wheeler dealers would talk to you. And this guy didn't talk to me that way. He spoke to me in a professional manner, like he told me what his plan was. And I'm like, that's a horrible fucking plan. But little did I know that for the little amount of money I paid this guy, he really saved my life.
Really? What did he, in what way?
There's times when you have an attorney and they sell you out. And it's not that they sell you out literally. It's that you're part of a plan. You're part of 3 or 4 people in a criminal investigation. If I have one criminal, that means I got 3 or 4 of them. Okay? And let's say I specialize in drugs as an attorney.
Okay.
I have 3 or 4 drug attorneys. So I might have 2 clients, I'm just saying, in Denver, 1 client in Boulder, and 1 client in Greeley. And I'm just giving out specifics here, right?
Okay.
I don't want somebody to call me and say, Joey, what do you... No. So now, let's say I have Lee Syatt and I have Joe Diaz. Lee Syatt is a kilo player. I'm just throwing out things here. Very professional.
I like it. Yeah.
Nobody... He got a bust. One of his salesmen got caught and he rolled on Lee, you know, and Lee's looking at, in reality, 16 years. But because Lee has money and he went to a rehab and he got letters from the community, he's got a business and he's got children, now the sentencing is up to the attorney.
Okay.
Up to the judge.
Yeah.
The judge and the probation department. So now you got to get finders for the probation department. Now people, let's say that I grew up in Boulder and your case was in Boulder. All I got to do is make a few phone calls and go, listen, Lee Syatt's a good guy. Okay, now, Joey Diaz gets busted for a fucking armed robbery type thing. Makes the papers, guys in the trunk. Not a beautiful fucking story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He has Joe Diaz and he's got Lee Syatt. Now he calls the attorney, the district attorney. He goes, so what do you want to do in plea bargains? So he'll work it. He'll go Lee Syatt first. Lee Syatt, what are you looking at, councilman, counselor? And he'll go, well, I'm looking at maybe 6 years. And he goes, fuck, no, 9. And that's how it starts. I got a commitment. Little commitments become big commitments. So now I work it backwards. How about 8? Nah. He got caught with a kilo. He had been running in the criminal enterprise. You know, yeah, but the guy's also got kids, and he's also a pillar to the community. He's also coached Little League, and you didn't fucking know he was a fucking coke dealer then. So he did all this on his own fucking thing, okay? You don't want me to get those kids in court in front of the fucking judge, do you? Do you? You want me to get 80 kids in there to tell how good of a guy he is, even though he was a drug dealer? No. Let's go for the 7.5, okay? 7.5, non-violent. It's a deal.
Right.
We're negotiating. Now, after the lease I had, I go, what are we going to do about Joey Diaz? What are we going to do about Joey Diaz? He got caught with a machine gun. He kidnapped some dude, and it's an armed robbery. He's looking at 16 fucking years. Let's pretend Lee's paying me $40,000 and Joey's paying me $25,000. Who am I going to work harder for?
Lee.
Okay. So I want Lee to get a better deal than Joey Diaz. Joey Diaz kidnapped somebody with a fucking machine gun. He gets what he deserves.
How stressful is that for you as when you were a criminal, that it doesn't even really matter what you do? All that really matters in a way is how much money you have for a lawyer.
Listen, here's what. All right, that's what the problem is. That's why black people and Latino dominate the prison system in numbers. Okay, if you don't have money, but you also get great attorneys. You also get people like Paula that have pride. So let's say I have Paula and I'm not paying. Usually the people that you don't pay are the people that do the best job for you.
Right, they're hungry,
because they're working it from fucking heart.
Right.
Okay, they're working it from heart. So the whole time you're in somebody else's hands. The thing about Phil Dubois was he had a plan. This motherfucker had a plan. Because that's what a lawyer does. A lawyer looks at your case and has a plan. And his main plan was to flip the violence, to prove I was nonviolent. I mean, he fought that tooth and fucking nail. Because everybody knows what you see. I don't know the whole breakdown of how attorneys' lingo is, but Paula would know it.
Right.
What you read and what you see are two different things, and what people believe, and they, was a word, perceive.
Right.
Perception is another. Attorneys have a thing, and that's how they trick you. It's called perception. You know, you read what this guy, it's like when I write, I kick somebody in the fucking stomach. When I say to you, Lee, how about I kick you in the stomach and we giggle? When I write it down and you read it, don't look too fucking good.
Right, and they know how to
turn that around.
Or even just leave some stuff out.
Yeah, loosening the words. It's like when you see a trailer.
Yeah.
It's like when you see, do you ever see that episode on something about reviews? Like the only review you see is astounding and exhilarating.
Oh, right,
but the review is really astounding, exhilarating for the first 30 minutes. I got the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? But they cut the rest of the review.
That's all they need, yeah.
And that's all they need. So you read what you want to read.
Right.
The fine print tells you something else. It's the same thing. So he could have sold me in. My name came out in the paper.
Did it really?
Oh, fuck yeah. My name came out in the paper a couple times for that. You know, I don't want to get into that stuff, but what I'm trying to get into is he could have just sold me out. Because I've had attorneys before that have sold me out. I know the feeling.
What do you mean they sell you? Like they're just like, fuck, like they use you?
They sell you out. You're supposed to do this, and they get you this.